So, ARA, you're welcome. Musa Bello, again, you're welcome. All right, so we are setting is now confirmed. Everything that we're trying to set up is now confirmed. I'm going to go ahead and start the webinar and expect that others will join in within the next couple of minutes. All right. So if you know anybody that should be in this webinar that's not here right now, please go ahead and share the link with them. Tell them to be here. Tell them to be here. Tell them to come live. As part of letting, as part of moderating everything, I'm going to ensure that only my video can be seen on screen. So it's going to be only my video that can be seen on screen. Other videos may not be seen on screen, as well as also ensuring that my slide is what everybody can see and not any other thing. All right. So at this point, I want to be sure, can everybody hear me? Can everybody see me? Can you see my slide right? Can you see my slide? Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Awesome. So, as much as possible, I'm going to mute everyone so that we don't have any disruptions in the midst of this webinar. Okay. So, webinar, at this point, I would appreciate if you can go ahead. Let's just do a little introduction, please. Can you introduce yourself? Let's just get to meet you. Let's get to know you. What is your name? I can see Musa Bello. I can see ARA. So please go ahead, introduce yourself. So let's get to meet you. So go ahead, please introduce yourselves. Please introduce yourselves. If you can't unmute yourself, you can use the chat box. But most times, I will most likely be muting everybody, okay? I'll most likely be muting everybody a lot of times. But you can go ahead and unmute yourself right now so that you can introduce yourself. So go ahead, please. Musa Bello, you want to say something?
Hello, everyone. Yes, sir. I'm by name Musa Bello, as you can see from the screen. I'm from Maiduguri, Borno State right now.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for joining us. Any other person who wants to? Yes, I can hear you clearly, loud and clear. Another person wants to introduce him or herself. Please go ahead. Emmanuel Adebola, go ahead.
Yes, okay, my name is
Manuel, please. I apparently muted you, so please unmute yourself. Or while we're waiting for that, please, Shegun Akeodu, go ahead and introduce yourself. Just tell us your name, your location. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shegun Akeodu. I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria.
Amazing.
I also have a nice
very
time.
much. Yes, you will have a nice time. Good evening, someone. That should be ARA.
Adekunle, yes. Adekunle Rotimi Adedeji.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Your location. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody right now so that we have less interruptions. But as we go on, this webinar, you will need you need to take notes. So if you don't have a note right now, you can grab a paper and a pen. If you don't have if you are a digital person, grab your tab and ensure that with the device that you are using to access this webinar, because of course you are going to be writing a lot. So please find a way to avoid all distractions that you can. Cherish, you're welcome. Good to have you here. Good to have you here. I love the energy that is going on right now. I love how everybody is amazing, amazing, amazing. All right. So let's play a quick game right now. Let's play a quick game right now. Let's play a quick game. Are you ready? I want to play a quick game right now, and I want you to grab your notes, grab your paper, or maybe you should pay a little more attention to your screen right now. Want to play a little game? The game is very, very simple, but of course, if you don't pay attention, you will miss out on what the game is really, really about. So if you're set, everybody, I'm going to put up an image on the screen, and the image is only going to last for just 10 seconds. And you will need to tell me, you will need to answer a question, okay? You need to answer a question. So, are you ready? If you're ready, type yes, type yes, type yes if you're ready, type yes if you're ready, type yes if you're ready. Let me know that you're ready. Type yes in the chat box. Let me know that you're ready. Type yes, let me know that you're ready. Now, the time is about to start, so I'm going to put it on screen, and for the next 10 seconds, it's just going to be on screen. The person who gets the highest number will win a prize. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go. So how many numbers can you see on this screen right now? How many numbers can you see on the screen right now? 10 seconds, 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left, gone. So somebody says 68241. Somebody says 5. Somebody says 5. Somebody says 5. Somebody says 3. Somebody says 4. Somebody says 4. Somebody says 3. Very interesting. 5210. Okay, let's check if all these numbers are actually correct. Again, let's check. 6, 8, 2, 4, 9, 1. I can also see. Okay, so who is correct? Who is correct? If you know that you are correct, let me see your hand if you know you are correct. Now, the interesting thing is that every single person who typed the number, you're actually correct. The difference is that we all see things differently, and we all see things from different perspectives. All right? And when we are talking about personal change, this is one of the things that truly matter, that really matter when we talk about personal change. Now, for those who may just be getting to be on this webinar, or maybe getting to meet me for the first time, you may be thinking right now, who is this guy? Well, as a consultant, teacher, trainer, and coach, I've worked with people, non-profits, as well as multinationals. And do you know what they all have in common? They are great. They are not able to shine their light. So my expertise and mission has since been created, has been centered on how to help people practically, and how they can create a really lasting transformation from inside out, using simple strategies. In fact, my personal assignment has been that relate science and spirituality into everyday tools of trans. Taking cue from research in science has already uncovered to help people deal with challenges in their transformations, both personally and professionally. Of course, that also translates to making money for a lot of people. That also translates into helping them achieve the goals that they have for themselves. And more important, something just happened right now. Something just happened right now. My network disappeared suddenly without any notice, without any notification. So I'm back. All right. I believe you can see and hear me now. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Now, apparently we might eventually cross a certain number here. So what's going to happen is once we cross that number, some other persons will not be able to join the meeting anymore, which is why I already said that it is first come, first served. So if they don't join this webinar early enough, they will not be able to join anymore. The webinar will be locked. And once it becomes locked, it means the only way they can join will be to maybe join the live stream on YouTube. So let me see from here if I can copy the, so let me put the live stream link in case you know somebody who needs it. This is the live stream link so they can watch from YouTube in case they cannot join. So I'm going to mute everybody. All right, so now, in case you're just getting to meet me again, I'm the author of Limitless Courage and Confidence, which is actually a physical book. As you can see here, this is the book. So it's not like I authored an ebook. It's an ebook. It's also an audio book. It's available on almost all platforms across the world. And I've been privileged to meet some people in my life and work with some people in my life. And some of them are big names that you probably know. And I believe you probably know a few of these names. Now, moving forward, I have been able to help quite a number of persons. As you can see, this is one person who does amazingly well across the world. And you can see what she said, that was simply amazing. Thank you so much. This has been one of the most delightful and enlightening courses I've taken in a while. And here it is, I genuinely must mention that I'm not one to give kudos easily. This is Nenye of the real Nenye.com. Dayo, this is amazing, to be honest. Now, this is me right now. A lot of you probably know me this way right now. And since we are talking about change and transformation, one of the things that a lot of people don't know about me is that I was once like this. That is what a lot of people don't know about me. I was once like this. What that means is I was like everyday, regular everyday guy that was just there until one day I decided I was going to take responsibility for my own transformation and ultimately change my own life. And the day I decided I was going to alter the course of my destiny, that's the day that a lot of things began to change in my life. Today, I've been privileged to work with companies such as BBC, worked with MTN, worked with almost a lot of the big brands that you probably know. But I was once like this. How can I say Jesus? Wow. I want to say Jesus Christ. So you can see, I was once just like every other guy. But today things have changed. Why? Because there was a day that I decided to take responsibility for my own change, take responsibility for the things that are going on in my life. And I'm going to walk you through some of them today. Now, here is Modupe Hirim, the founder of a group that has over 15,000 active members. He said Dayo Samuel is one person who has pushed the boundaries and reached for more. And this is Anure Kazubike, the founder of, what's the name of that brand? The Something Africa, Market Innovation Africa. And I remember designing something for her. She said the success you achieve with an accent, and by the way, what that means is that the success you achieved with an accent you have had for as long as you can remember is proof that we can achieve absolutely anything we set our mind and heart to do. What that means is that when I got to start, of course, a lot of people know me with podcasts. And when I started podcasts in 2014, the first professional podcast to actually start in Nigeria, and I decided I was going to help other people start podcasts as well. Somebody told me one day that, how come you talk like Baba Ijebu? And when they say they talk like Baba Ijebu, I mean, I used to have a very, very strong local accent. I mean, if I talk like this, you just be laughing like, oh boy, see this guy, man. But even with that heavy Yoruba accent. I remember a time in my life I used to live in Makodi, and anytime I talk on the road, people would just ask me, "Are you a Yoruba person? Are you a Yoruba?" I just say yes. They say, "No wonder." So I took it upon myself and said, I have to alter that. Being Yoruba, having an accent doesn't have to always define who I am. And that went on to help me create that particular change. I was able to, of course, alter my accent, but ultimately change a lot of other things in my life. As you saw, that was how I used to look before now. But you can see things have changed. And now, why am I doing this? And I need to mention this here. The first reason why I'm doing this is because 2021 is a new year. You need to be better equipped for the changes that is taking place globally, taking place locally, and personally. What that means is that a lot of things are changing. 2020, well, like a lot of us, 2020 was not the kind of year a lot of us planned, even though some of us saw it coming from 2019. Of course, I personally saw it coming from 2019. I remember January 2019, I decided to stop working from the office. My office is in Allen in Ikeja. I decided to, okay, let's stop working from the office. Let's try work from home and see how that goes. And imagine 2020 became the year for work from home. And even now, a lot of us still continue the work from home pattern, right? And there are a lot of changes that are taking place. Globally, as you can see, even there are a lot of crises, political crises going on. There are personal crises going on. There are all kinds of things going on around the world right now. And you need to be better prepared for that. If you are not prepared for the change that is happening, the change is either going to sweep you away or you will just be caught in the place where you'll be wondering, when did this happen and I did not know? It's just like the 4 lepers in the Bible and the other 4 lepers in the Bible. There were some who experienced the change, and there were those who did not experience the change because they were left behind. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this webinar is because I don't want you to be left behind. I want you to be better prepared for what's ahead. Second reason why I'm doing this is because people are drowning in information while they are craving for wisdom. A lot of people have access to information. There is a lot of information going around, but the wisdom in those information is very, very scarce. You know why? Because since 2020, there has been a rise in the amount of content that's available online. And so, in fact, if you have taken a course in the last 1 year, can you type yes in the chat right now? If you have taken a course in the last 1 year, like you took an actual course in the last 1 year, maybe it's even a free course. Okay, so Becky says yes. Thank you for that. Who else took a course in the last 1 year? Musa Bello says yes. So Cherish says yes. Thomason says yes. Aklade says yes. So you see, you took that course and accessed certain information, right? But you know the other thing? A lot of information does not mean that you have wisdom. Does not mean you know what to do. So you can take a course and finish that course and wonder, so what next? What am I supposed to do? How do I know what to do to move my life forward now? What do I do next? That is what a lot of people experience because they are drowning in information. Now, the third reason why I am doing this is because I want to provide you with better tools. I want you to be well equipped so that you know exactly what to do as you go forward with the changes that are going to be happening this year. The changes are going to affect your finances. For example, Nigeria is about to offload all their assets to individuals and other organizations outside or within Nigeria. And you know what that's going to, anyway, that's more like rabies. Like Nigeria is on a rabies stuff right now. I'm not going to, okay, good. That's already gone. Now, the last reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to give you an invitation for very, very few number of persons to work with me personally. And when I say personally, I mean one-on-one. I'm going to sit down with you, help you draft plans, strategies, systems, and structures that will help you make these changes happen in a profitable way for you. So you will not even lose anything, even when the changes eventually happen. And of course, how you can make some of these changes happen on a personal level. Now, having said that, I want to ask a quick question right now. How is change sabotaged? Well, the answer is simple. It is because of self. Now, I want you to picture this right now. Let's say you are fat and you know that you are fat. And there's a project that needs to be executed or something that needs to be done at your workplace. And the moment they make that information known that something needs to be done, the next thing that comes to your mind is the fact that you said, I know I'm fat and I may not be able to help myself and I may not be able to do anything about this. What you are doing at that point is you are sabotaging yourself. There is something you are looking for that made you be in that workplace, but perhaps maybe you don't even know what that thing is. Now, self-image is how you see yourself, is how you picture yourself, is the image of yourself that you carry on your inside. If the image of yourself that you carry on your inside does not match the change you are looking for, that change is going to be thwarted. That change you are not going to eventually find the change you are looking for. Second reason why change is sabotaged is because of self-esteem. And when I say self-esteem, it is when, so let's say somebody says that I have so amount of money. So let's say somebody says that I have, this January I've made 32 billion naira. And then the moment you hear, you have made 32 billion naira, you just start telling yourself, or you just start looking at yourself and feeling like, I don't even know what's wrong with me, self. I can't even make any money. I can't even do this. I can't even do that. Or you are even beginning to picture yourself or even tell yourself that. And by the way, self-affirmation means the stories you are telling yourself, the things you are telling yourself anytime you find yourself in certain situations. So your self-image, how you see yourself, your self-esteem, how you carry yourself, and your self-affirmation, how you speak to yourself. These three things can affect the change that you want to see happen in your life. But the interesting thing, these are not the only three things that affect change. So let's get into it. So our first thing I want to cover here is the myth that people talk about when they are looking at change. The first thing they say that the myth I wanted to throw away here is the fact that people can't change on their own, that people will always need certain things in order to change. The truth is that you can always change on your own. In the last 1 year, especially in the last 10 months since COVID-19 started, people have created certain changes, certain habits, certain behaviors just because of the COVID-19 restriction, and of course, all the way to keep yourself safe. Am I correct? Okay, so let me give you a little example here about people people changing on their own. So let's say now you want to go out. You may not need to be reminded anymore to wear a mask. Am I correct? You probably have already mastered the act of putting on a mask as soon as you are going out. Or maybe you want to enter a place or you want to approach somebody and automatically you turn on a mask or you wear a mask. It's now becoming, or maybe you get to somewhere and the first thing you look for is where's sanitizer. That's a change that has happened in the last 1 year and it took place on its own. Of course, there may be external influences like government, like the organization, like the people. But when you hear that people cannot change on their own, it's not true. Number two is people say that most goals and resolutions are trivial, where the truth is that goals and resolutions will always be a part of a new year. In fact, if you have resolutions, the question I used to ask is, how sure are you that the new year resolution you create for yourself will actually happen? Number three is change requires determination and willpower. To be honest, you don't have to be determined to change. In fact, willpower is one of the things that affect change. If you are working with willpower, that the main thing you want to use to overcome whatever it is you want to overcome is willpower. That is, they say that if you want it bad enough that you will have it. To be honest, if you want it bad enough, you may not have it because willpower on its own does not create change. Now, for some people, they say that it's all in my genes, so I can't change. It's true. Your genetic composition does not configure you to be a bad person. Your genetic configuration does not configure you to be in poverty. Your genetic configuration does not have the component of saying that you should always be at the mercy of other people. And number 5 is those people who say that I can't change, I've tried before. Well, if you are in that case, then you are the reason why I'm doing this webinar. If you have ever told yourself that I can't change again, this is just who I am, this is how I am, or maybe I have tried to change before, it did not change, well, you're about to learn some things that are going to revolutionize how you see things going forward. So let's talk about how change happens. Now, first thing is there's what I call current state. This is your current reality. This is where you are right now. So let's say this is where you are right now. You have just maybe, or you don't even have a job and you're looking for a job, or you have started a business and your business is not making money, or maybe you have tried certain things and it did not work, or this is your current state right now. And I want you to note your current state right now. What is your current state right now? What is your current reality? Second is, what is your desired state? What are you looking forward to? What is the result you are looking forward to? What is the outcome that will need to happen in order for you to know that change has actually happened in my life? That is what I call a desired state. Now, in between your reality and your result, in between your current state and your desired state, is a transition state. Now, this transition state has an element. It's called roadblock. Now, what that roadblock means, excuse me, what that roadblock means is if you don't learn how to bypass this roadblock, how to overcome this roadblock, of course, the roadblock by nature will create a resistance. So the roadblock, whatever it is that may be standing between you and the thing you want to get. So let's say you have a goal that this year you want to achieve so and so thing. That is your desired state. Now, what are you right now? Where are you right now? So I'm going to be using a lot of financial examples. So let's say you want to make 20 million naira this year, or you want to create a business this year, you want to make a lot of impact this year, or you want to gain a lot of influence this year. That is a desired state. What you want to do is you want to look at what is your current state. How much do I currently have? And so this is how much I currently have. This is the desired state that I'm looking for. This is the 20 million I'm looking for. How much do you have right now? So let's say you have 2,000 right now. Let's say you have 50,000 right now, or you have maybe 500,000 right now. Write that down as your current reality. This is your current state. Now, in between this 500K or this 50,000 naira and the 50 million or the 20 million that you are looking for, what are the things that can stand in between the two of those points? And I want you to try and identify those things, because how well you are able to manage the things standing in between is what's going to ensure that you deliver the future, the desired state you are looking for. If you don't manage the transition, the roadblock that is standing in between, you will never achieve what you are looking for. And so you find that somebody says that I want to be a better husband, or I want to be a better wife, or I want to be a better child to my parents, or I want to even be a better boss at work. But you find that that is a desired state that they have created. They probably are aware that they are not currently a good husband, they are not currently a good wife, they are not currently a good boss, they are not currently a good employee, they are not currently a good child to their parents, or not a good parent to their child right now. But the missing link is the fact that where you are right now and where you want to be, something is already standing. The moment you decide, this is where I want to go, something stands in between you. Let me give you a biblical example here. So the children of Israel decided that they were going to leave, or when God told Moses that he needed the children of Israel to get out of Egypt, that they were to go to Canaan land, right? Now, Canaan land is supposed to be where their desired state, the result they are looking for. Their current state is where? Egypt. Now, in between the transition, what was the roadblock that stood between them? A lot of enemies, starting with Egyptian military force. because they ran after them and tried to bring them back to their current state. That is exactly how change happens. That's exactly how change works. The moment you decide you want to change and you begin to work towards it, something comes and pulls you back to your current state. It's the reason why a lot of people battle procrastination. It's the reason a lot of people battle indecision. They battle a lot of things that hold them back. So if you are here in this webinar right now, I want you to try and identify the things that may be holding you back. In case you can identify them, I'm going to mention 8 of them as we go on. So that means you have to stay on this webinar to be sure that any of these 8 things are exactly what is holding you back. At this point, if you have a question at this point, I would like to take a question. Okay, so there are no questions I can see. Can we get the recording for this webinar? Sure, the webinar is being recorded. It's also been live streamed on YouTube. So that means even after now, there's still going to be the replay link. Of course, thank you for that question. Amazing. So moving forward here, the current state has tremendous holding power. That's something I just said now, right? And the uncertainty of success and fear of the unknown can block change and create resistance. So between where you are now and where you want to be, there is the holding power. The current state wants you to stay stuck in that current state. In fact, to even illustrate it, for me personally, I battled addiction to masturbation and pornography for over 13 years of my life. Every single year, I make a New Year resolution that this year, I am not going to watch pornography. But you know the funny thing? By February, or maybe January ending, I'm already consuming 10 gig of pornography. You know why? Because the current state has holding power, and the holding power is so powerful that anytime you try to break away from the current state where you are, it pulls you back into its orbit. It pulls you back. And so you find a lot of times we say we want to change, and then by the end of the year we find ourselves back exactly where we started from. Nothing has changed. So, and by the way, if you try to actually change, the moment you decide to struggle with that resistance, you begin to have some sense of uncertainty, some sense of fear, some sense of, particularly the fear of the unknown. What will happen? What will people say? All these things start coming up in your mind, and they block the change you want to see happen, and then create resistance, and then pull you back into that same cycle. So then, what is resistance management? According to Paula Aisha, she says, resistance is a function of the amount of disruption a change creates for an individual. It's a way for people to protect themselves against changes in their job tasks, work behaviors, performance measures, power, and or status. So you say that you want to appear rich, or you want to be rich. In fact, talking about appearing rich, the main reason why a lot of people appear rich and are not really rich is because of this same resistance, this same thing I'm talking about here. So the status is rich, but they appear rich without necessarily being rich. Resistance happens when there's a disruption to your current state. When there's a disruption by reason of the fact that you want to change. And so in order to protect yourself, you either come up with the resistance yourself, or your subconscious creates the resistance by itself. And so the reason why that resistance comes up is because it's trying to protect you against the changes that are about to happen. And so if you don't understand why that resistance is happening, you most likely not make meaningful use of that process. And so I'm going to walk you through 6 secrets of change right now. 6 secrets of change. Remember I told you that this webinar is Untold Secrets of Personal Change. These are the things that people don't tell you. Number 1 secret here that I want you to know is that change is challenging. Change is hard. Change is difficult. In fact, from everything I've explained to you so far, you will notice that it is very easy to decide you want to change, but it's very difficult to accomplish that change. You know why? Because change is challenging. In fact, if change was very, very easy, a lot of people would have changed now. At least you would have decided that Man, I want to become rich. And then you suddenly become rich, not appear rich. Okay? Or you just that, I want to live in a new environment. And then suddenly you start living in that environment. It's like a post I wrote, a quote I actually wrote, that it is the wizard, not the one, that makes the magic happen. Contextualizing it here, it is you, not the change, that actually makes the change happen. I think you should write that down. It is you, not the change, that makes the change happen. And Tommy, please note that down. I love the energy here. If you are feeling this right now, please let me see your yes in the chat box. Please drop your yes. Let me see your yes. Tommy, stay there and be laughing, no? Stay there and be laughing. Amazing. Let's keep it going. Number 2 secret of change is that change is a process. You can't change by turning on a switch. I know that now the main reason why I'm mentioning this, that change is a process, is because we are in a religious environment. And I'm saying this from a perspective of somebody who have personally sat down in a coaching session with somebody, and also in a different setting now, in a therapy session with somebody, and this person said that, I will pour anointing oil, this, and this thing will work. You need to understand that change is a process. Change is not a switch that you turn on and off when you need it. Change is a process. It is not a switch. And the reason why I'm saying that is because you need to understand that there are a lot of things that cannot change except you initiate the process of that change. If you don't initiate the process of the change, that change will never happen. That change will not work. Are you with me right now? So you need to understand that change is a process. The process has to be initiated. The process has to be started by one person. And most likely that person has to be you. In fact, if you want to change and you come to me as a coach, or you come to me as a therapist, or you come to me as a consultant, maybe even for your business, you know what I'll do? I'll first of all tap into the process that you have already initiated. Because if you don't start the process of change yourself, I can't help you. In fact, no coach, no therapist, no consultant can help you unless you initiate the change yourself. So if you don't want to change, you can't actually change. Change is a process. Number 3 that I want you to know here is that change is personal. A group does not change. All of us inside this webinar right now, we can't change at the same time. Change will happen for us at very personal levels. Each of us will change at our own pace. Do you understand? So sometimes I work with people and we take 6 weeks before we accomplish certain results. And for some people, it takes us 12 weeks before we accomplish the same result that this other person got in 6 weeks. And for some people, I work with them in 3 days. They're able to accomplish the result they are looking for. Do you get that? So from my own experience, I've learned that change is personal. Change cannot be generalized. It is the reason why when APC was coming into power and began to shout change, the change till 2021, the change is not that felt. The change was heard. We did not see the change and we did not feel the change. In fact, it was as if it was unchanged that was actually happening. Because change is not generic. Change is not, it's not something that you carry and you apply to everybody. Change is very, very individualistic. Change is very, very personal. Some people are laughing. Now, at this point, let me pause a little bit and share with you something that I will talk to you more about at the end of this webinar. I have a program called Lasting Transformation where I help people create change on a very, very deep level. And when I say create change on a deep level, I've worked with people who were battling certain workplace behaviors that were not helpful for them. Some were battling certain personal behaviors, habits, addictions. Some, it was even that they wanted to achieve certain goals and they have been struggling to achieve those goals. As with the case of making 20 million naira, I've worked with somebody before whose goal was to actually make 50 million naira. He had done 20 million. And he could not make that 50 million happen. Year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out, he couldn't make it happen. But by the time he got into lasting transformation, it was very, very easy for him to see, this is what I've been doing wrong. This is what has not worked for me all these years. And so by reason of that awareness and enlightenment, he created the change in very short moment. Here is Toluche de Francis, who happens to be the lead consultant of Royal Consulting and the chief operating officer of Mentally Aware Nigeria Mani right now. This lasting transformation is one program that changed my thought completely about how I can approach issues. It's opened my mind to see that there's so much I can do and achieve from different angles. I got to know that I can never run out of ideas or what to sell. I also learned to try different methods with clients as one surely work. Thank you so much for your time over the weeks. This is Solution. This says Nigeria has changed. How? I believe you are referring to Nigeria went from good to something below good. I understand. Anyway, to continue here, I'm going to talk a little more about lasting transformation as we go on. And I'm also going to give you an opportunity to join lasting transformation. By the way, the opportunity is not going to be available for very long. So you need to prepare yourself. Right now, the opportunity is only going to be available for a very, very limited time. In fact, for only 48 hours. But of course, it's something that you can do. Now, number 4 secret of change is that people resist change. Intentionally and unintentionally, people resist change. And when I say intentionally and unintentionally, people resist change, I'm very particular about the fact that people decide that I want to get to this point in my life. Or maybe the person is single and says that I want to get married. Now, they now begin to develop, the moment they decide I want to get married, they now begin to develop ideas, strategies, structures, systems, stories, scripts, mental and emotional states for themselves to not actually get married. Do you know how they do that? They see somebody they like, they'll start telling themselves things like, what if she's already engaged? What if that baby is too fine or that guy is too fine? Yeah. If I walk up to him now, they will think that I'm a whore or I'm a slut. They are the ones who are creating the change, but they know the change they're looking for, but they are intentionally or unintentionally resisting the change they're looking for. And so you find that what helps this person to create the change they're looking for and this other person, it can be vastly different from each other. So that's the 4th secret I want you to understand here. 5th secret I want you to understand is that people need to understand why they need to change. A lot of times people don't understand why they want to change. Main reason is because there are 6 reasons why change happens. There are 6 reasons why you behave the way you behave. There are 6 reasons why you are the way you are. There are 6 reasons why all of us are the way we are. When you don't understand the why, you will. So something entered my mind. If you don't have a powerful why, you will struggle with the how. Do you get me now? If you don't have a powerful why, you will struggle with the how. Until you actually create the why, the how will not show up. In fact, it's the reason why lasting transformation particularly helps you to understand how you've been resisting change and helps you correct that resistance behavior, helps you understand why you need to change and what already motivates you, what already influences you to create change in some other areas of your life so that you can use those other experiences to leverage this particular change you want to see happen in your life. Now, number 6 secret of change is that people need change leadership. Every time anybody wants to change, somebody is responsible for that change. Now, leadership here means influence. Leadership here means responsibility. And responsibility means responsibility. That is your ability to respond to the change that you're looking for. So the moment you decide you want to change, you now respond to your ability to create that change. Do you get that? So every time anybody wants to change, they need change leadership. Now, change leadership is not just regular leadership. Change leadership means that you are leading the change that you want to see happen in the direction you want to see it happen. So if you want to get to this point, you are here right now. if you want to get to this point here with my hand right now, with my hand here, and you are here right now, you want to now be able to master and work your leadership so that you can go from here and go gradually close to the change you are looking for, whether in your business, whether in your workplace, whether in your personal life, whether in your family, whether in your health, your faith, your spiritual life, whether even in your mental health or your behavioral health. You need that change in leadership in order to be able to achieve the goal you are looking for. In fact, that's the reason why the third day of lasting transformation, our emphasis is basically change leadership. How to make this change happen in your life by taking personal responsibility for the changes that are going to happen in your life. Now, I need to also let you know here that successful change can be unlocked. And when I say successful change, what do I mean? Change is different for everybody. You remember I already mentioned that change is personal, right? What that means is that everybody has the change they are looking for in their lives. What I am looking to change may not be the same thing as what Musa is looking to change, as what Rotimi is looking to change, as what Thomas is looking to change. So what you may be looking to change, maybe what Peter is looking to change is different from what George is looking to change, what Grace is looking to change, what Mary is looking to change, Abimbola, Tunde, Emmanuel. And I'm mentioning all of you here in this webinar right now because what you want to change in your own life may be different from what I want to change in my own life. But you know the interesting thing? Successful change can be unlocked. So whether it's better performance, or you want to make more money, or you want to improve your productivity, or maybe you have secret struggles that you want to end. All of these can happen. In fact, you can make it happen in your life by yourself once you master certain things that I am going to show you. If you are enjoying this and this is making sense to you, please say yes in the comments right now. Please say yes in the comments in the chat box right now. Let me know that this is making sense to you. Let me know that this is making sense to you. Oh, amazing. Checking the chat box. Makolade Oluwatoba, thank you for what you said. He said, lasting transformation helped my journey to be faster. Okay. So in case you don't know, Makolade Oluwatoba is a participant of the lasting transformation class that we had. And you can see, he said, lasting transformation helped my journey to be faster. So you can go faster, you can move faster, way better than if you try to struggle on your own. If you try to struggle on your own. Timmy Kende, thank you. Wale Udele, thank you for yes. Sylvester, Musa, Esther, Tosin, Peter, Shegun, Musa, Emmanuel. Thank you. I'm glad that this is helpful to you. Victoria says the class is so enlightening. Thank you. Imagine that you are getting a lot of these. Imagine what you get from lasting transformation. I just want you to just imagine it, that this is just a tiny bit of what you are going to enjoy in lasting transformation. All right. Thank you very much for all those comments. Interestingly, you know the funny thing, even on YouTube, people are commenting that they are enjoying it because I actually decided to stream this live on my channel on YouTube. People are commenting. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Fumi Max, thank you. Thank you. So let's proceed a little bit more. Emmanuel says, I can't wait for this lasting transformation. That's right. So let's proceed a little further. Here is Elizabeth Akuyili. Don't mind me, I call her Lisa Express because that's our regular name. You probably may know the name Akuyili if you've paid attention to political listen. So this is a family of that person. So it says, before I began the last transformation course, I always questioned why addiction was easy to begin and difficult to stop, and why many people, particularly clients, complained about one thing, but the real problem was always many layers below. Let me unpack that for you. It means the problem people usually think they have is not exactly the problem they have. The problem they think they have is layer beneath or above the problem they really have. And so because they are not aware that this is a real problem, they try to solve the what I call the spoken problem and unspoken problem. The unspoken problem is what a lot of people are now aware of. Now, she says that the program accepts me as an individual to be less judgmental and to listen to myself with an open mind. Because, of course, all of us, we have conversations with ourselves. If you don't have a conversation with yourself, you don't ever talk to yourself. That opening your mouth to talk or running it at the back of your mind, tell me in the chat that you don't talk to yourself. Every human being, almost every human being does this. But so if you are one of those who don't talk to yourself, let me know. Just with my clients, I'm learning practically that I cannot assume two clients will need the same technique simply because they have similar needs. Even if they have similar needs, their environment and driving desires have positioned them to respond differently. So if you are the type of person who don't understand why things go the way they go, lasting transformation will help you to understand why these things go the way they go. Now, at this point, I want you to share with me, what is your 2021 goal? If you are free, if you are not shy about it, please share with me your 2021 goal. Now, by 2021 goal, I'm referring to the 2021 goal that you before now you have already planned or you have already come up with. If you have not already come up with it, it's also okay. I entered this year without having a goal. But by the first few days of this year, in fact, part of the goal even became clearer because I think it was Thursday. Was it Wednesday? I think Wednesday or Thursday. I was in flight to Abuja and certain things became clearer in my mind. And I grabbed my notes. You can look at it here. I grabbed my note and began to scribble things. And by the time I was checking, I had written pages in my notes. And I was like, wow, I only had this as that. Of course, I usually start my year in November. I only had this as ideas in November. But by just a few days ago, it became clear. Now I know exactly what I am trying to aim for. I know exactly what I'm trying to gun for. And by the way, the plan has already elapsed up until 2050. We are going to talk about that. So for now, I'm already planning 2050. That's not to overwhelm you. So what is your 2021 goal? If you have entered this year without a goal, it's very okay. All right. Now, this 2021 goal, what's going to be your first quarter goal? That is the first 3 months of this year. What will you need to achieve in order to move closer to this 2021 goal? I want you to write that down as well as share it with me in the chat box. And when I say goal can be in any area, whether your health, your wealth, your finances, your spiritual life, your faith, your academics, your work, your business, any area of your life that you have actually crafted a goal for. So it could even be for your organization, because of course organizations have goal. Like the goal of my organization is that by 2050 we would have directly and indirectly touched 100 million lives. I can show you my whiteboard here. I've written this 100 million here. It's almost over a year. Let me stop sharing here and bring myself on screen. So at this point, I have to pin my video on screen here. In fact, let me show you here so that you can see what I'm saying. See, if you look at my board here, you most likely see, can you see 100 million on my board? I used to think it was going to be money that I need to make in the next 1 year, or money that I need to make in the next couple of months. But it recently just became clear to me that it is 100 million people that I need to touch by the year 2050. So I'm not in a hurry, and I'm not trying to sabotage my own process myself by putting myself under unnecessary duress. Okay? So the moment it became, do you know the time it became clear? About 3 or 4 days ago, that was when it became clear that this 100 million that I've written here, or this, I've written it here over a year ago that I've written it here. So it became clear that this is what this is for. 100 million lives by 2050. And that's what I'm aiming for right now. Emmanuel says, I also entered this year without a goal because I'm still on fast and prayer. Amazing. I'm assuming maybe before the end of this month. That's correct. Make $5,000 in 2021. Amazing. Cherish says, 2021 goals: build my spiritual life, discover purpose, make true friends, appreciate relationship, get into business. self-development, create and maintain a healthy lifestyle. Amazing. Musa says, my 2021 goal is to be more closer to God, make lots of money. Now, make lots of money is a goal. You know why? Because if you make 5,000, that's lots of money. So you will need to check your current state, your current reality, right? And then match it with a future desired reality. Do you get it now? So make a lot of money. If you make $5,000 right now, then maybe make a lot of money will now be that you are aiming for $50,000. Do you get that? So it's always good when you make your goals specific. It's always good when you make your goals specific. Help more vulnerable people, orphans, and widows, and to create a business that will reduce the rate of unemployment and to make legit friends. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So Becky says $5,000 by June 2021. Amazing. Peter says to increase my income to set up a school to pay attention to my health. Amazing. ARA says to publish 3 books. Fantastic, fantastic. I love all the goals that you're sharing here right now. Now, I want you to now bring it down to the next 3 months. What are you doing, or what will you need to accomplish by the end of the next 3 months? That is, by the end of March, what will you need to have accomplished? January, February, March, first quarter of the year. What will you need to have accomplished? In terms of these goals that you've listed now, what will you need to have accomplished? Now, the reason why I'm mentioning that is because if you're not clear about what you are trying to accomplish, you will, and you are not very detailed as you know exactly what you need to be working on part-time, you will most likely just spend almost all the entire goal just running around a particular circle. So I want you to pick that right now. First of all, what's your 2021 goal? Then narrow it down to what's going to be your first quarter goal. What are the things you need to accomplish? Now, the real reason why I'm asking you that is because if you're having this conversation, if you and I are having this conversation, we are sitting down or I'm hosting a webinar by March or maybe by April, and I ask you, have you accomplished your first quarter goal? What would you be telling me by that time? So if you to finish one of my ebooks by first quarter, so it means that if we are sitting down, let's say we are talking by April 1st, April Fool, of course, you won't make a fool of me or make a fool of yourself. So if you are doing April Fool by April 1st, you would have written these books. You would have done these things. You would have accomplished this goal. But of course, all of these things are still part of accomplishing the goal of 2021. That is what I want you to highlight right now. Because if you're having this conversation by that time, what we need to have happened to make you know that you actually did not waste your time on this webinar, you actually did not waste your energy, you did not waste your data, you did not waste even my own time, even my own energy, even my own data. As you can see, I'm drinking water because for information, I have been sick since yesterday morning, but I'm also healed. So even in the midst of that sickness, I'm still doing this webinar because this is part of what I need to accomplish as part of my own January goals. There's February goals, there's March goals, there's April, there is May. So I want everyone on this webinar right now to come up with what's going to be your 2021 goal and then what's going to be your first quarter goal. So if we are talking, because for those who are going to work with me on a personal level, of course, from Lasting Transformation, I'm going to give you an opportunity to work with me one-on-one, where if you join Lasting Transformation, I'm going to get on a call with you. So we are going to even design your entire strategy, how you will accomplish this goal that you are mapping out, goals that you're mentioning right now. So no need to give yourself tension that I don't know how to do it. Your own is right now, write it down, note it down, make it clear, write the vision, make it plain, so that he that reads it can run. The person that reads it may be different from the person that writes the vision. That's what you need to understand. A lot of times we have not been told that one, but the person who writes the vision does not necessarily be the person who runs the vision and does not need to be the person. So it could be that you write the vision and I'm going to come in and help you see how you can run the vision, or maybe to employ somebody to run the vision so that you don't overwhelm yourself. Okay, so I want you to do that. I want you to do that right now as we continue from here. So again, highlight your 2021 goals, and then bring it down to your first quarter goal. Bring it down to your first quarter goal. Now, at this point, I want to ask you a question. Where will you be? Who will you be what will you be doing by the year 2050? And year 2050 is how many years away? That's about 29 years away from now, right? What will you be doing? Who will you be? What? So if you notice the questions I'm asking, what will you be doing in 2050? And who will you be in 2050? Anybody? Can anybody answer that question? Type it in the chat box right now if you can answer that question. Who will you be by 2050? What will you be doing by 2050? Now, the reason why I say that who and what is because who you are is different from what you do. You can bring the two of them to an alignment such that who you are and what you do find a place of alignment. But a lot of times we focus on what we do without paying attention to who we are. So what you do is the role you will be playing. So for example, by 2050, you want to be a coach, you want to be a high-profile coach. That is what you do. That may not be who you are. Who you are is still you. If we strip away everything that makes, everything that you have, everything that you own, everybody that you know, if you strip everything away, who will you be? So for example, in 2050, technology is going to be very, very advanced. In fact, if I'm wearing a shirt in 2050, this strip that you can see on my shirt here might be sensors. It might be a radioactive strip that you can see on my shirt. Do you get? So 2050, perhaps I saw a video that says that by 2050, most of us will not need a smartphone again. So who will you be by 2050? What will you be doing by 2050? If you don't know, it's very, very okay right now. I just want you to start thinking ahead, because that was how we were sold one vision 2020 many years ago, and 2020 came, nothing happened to us. We did not see the vision you were selling to us. So you're an ambassador for girl child and women in Africa by 2050. Amazing, 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 amazing. Aklade says, for those who want to publish their books, it can help. That's true. It can help you publish your book. That's very, very correct. He runs a publishing company. Authority figure in branding, creative institute, filmmaking, and a minister by 2050. Amazing. That is Tunde raw fact. Or Sheung. So I want you to start thinking of what will you be. And if you can, I'm going to recommend you go and find content and find resources to check what is going to be happening by 2050. What is the world going to look like by 2050? For example, I was doing a training for DABA over the weekend. And the first day of the training, when I asked, what are you going to be doing by 2050? And then we played the video. One guy saw that drone, David saw that drone that he does now will be used for logistics. So he was raising his hand like this, doing like this. Hey. So you need to start thinking of your industry. What are the changes that are going to be happening in your industry? How can you position yourself? How can you play the long-term game with these changes and in these changes and along with these changes that are happening? Are you getting me right now? So you need to start thinking of that. So now, let me talk about the resistance mechanisms I mentioned earlier on. At any time we try to change, we also try to resist the change. There are 8 different ways we resist the change. MEC says a retired entrepreneur, set up multiple businesses, amazing, managing portfolios, amazing. Emmanuel says, as you say, you want to know. That is true. You don't know. You don't have to deceive yourself that you know, or pretend to yourself like you know. You may not know. And like I said, before now, 2040 was what I used to plan before now, but you can see now it has been extended by 10 years. And I think it was yesterday, during yesterday's session in the morning, Nathaniel Luz on DABA was talking about 2063. So he was already extending the 2050 that I'm talking about by another 13 years. And I was like, oh, see another person has gone ahead. So if you don't know, it's very, very okay. Now, anytime you want to create a change in your life, there are resistance mechanisms that we develop. Number 1 is discouragements. Number 2 is negativity. Number 3 is avoidance. Number 4 is emotional. That is, we become emotional about the change. Number 5 is work impact. What is going to impact? Number 6 is controlling. Number 7 is building barriers. And number 8 is acting out. Let me explain each of them. Now, again, I'm going to explain what I mean by the change here. So for those who are just joining us, who probably may just have joined this webinar, what I call change is you have a current state right now. You have a current reality right now, and you are trying to achieve something, go towards something, be something, or have something, or do something. That is a desired state. There's a particular result, an outcome that you are looking for. That is a desired result. But you have transition in between that. That is between where you are and where you want to be. There's a transition state. And that transition state, a lot of times, serves as a roadblock to what you want to achieve. If you don't master how to manage the resistance that this roadblock brings, you will not achieve the desired state, the result, the outcome you are looking for. Do you get that? So now, let me now share with you the different mechanisms we use when we are fighting this resistance. The different mechanisms we develop when we are fighting this resistance. Number one is disengagement. So they disengage, they become quiet, indifferent, apathy, low morale, they ignore communications. So it could be like, well, some people, they will say that they are isolating themselves. Now, that's by isolation, I'm saying social isolation, like they isolate themselves completely from everybody, they withdraw. That could be a way that you are battling your own resistance because the goal is not being accomplished, or the goal is overwhelming. And so you withdraw into your shell. You ignore communications. You don't talk to people. Number two is negativity. Miscommunication, of course, that results from negativity. Of course, you remember the song? Negative energy. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So, negativity, which means that miscommunication, you begin to raise objections, you begin to complain, you begin to play a lot of sarcasm, or you begin to pass around a lot of rumors and gossip, or you begin to focus on the problems of not accomplishing that goal. Number three is avoidance, where you ignore the change, or you are looking for how to hack a workaround. You want to look for a shortcut to get to the goal without walking through the process. Remember, I mentioned change secret number, I think that should be number 3, is that change is a process, right? Remember that change secret number 1 is that change is challenging. And secret number 2 is that change is personal. Change is a process. You remember that, right? Change is problematic. Change is personal. Change is a process. And I want you to write that down. Change is personal. Change is a process. Change is problematic. Do you get that? And so when you develop avoidance, what you do is you ignore the change, you work around it, or you revert to your old behavior, or you begin to abdicate responsibilities. At that point, you begin to blame other people for the things that are not accomplished. You begin to blame them for the things that you are supposed to take personal responsibility for. The leadership. Remember, I said change requires change leadership. You remember I mentioned that, right? So when you begin to abdicate responsibilities, you are not being that leader. Now, emotional, which is number 4, is that as soon as you say you want to change, you begin to experience fear, loss, sadness, particularly loss of control. Or you begin to experience anger. You begin to get angry at everybody because they are not seeing what you are seeing. Or you're beginning to experience anxiety because you are thinking too much of the outcome. You are thinking too much of the goal. Particularly, you are thinking too much in the sense that I may not be able to accomplish this goal. I may not be able to get it done. I may not be able to see it done. And so you are there being anxious, anxiety, frustration because you are trying, and it's not working. And of course, depression. And by the way, of course, a lot of you probably know that I'm both a consultant, coach, and therapist, right? That's the reason why I can identify the emotional part of this resistance. And of course, sometimes you now begin to focus on yourself. And so sometimes it's people, and this one may shock you, okay? So maybe I will have to put up a meme and say, it shock you? By the time I finish what I want to say. Sometimes people think that they are the ones that are responsible for the change that they are looking for in their lives. Yes, responsible, but sometimes you don't have to be emotional by focusing on yourself. Or let me say it this way, you don't have to be emotional about the change by focusing on yourself. Sadiq, I love what I'm seeing. I love what I'm seeing. I can see the big notes in your front. That is very, very amazing. Well done, well done, well done. See, I mean, you give him a thumb down. Sorry. Now, number 5, work impact. That is how this resistance affects your work. Number 1 is reduced productivity, efficiency, because you want to change, because you are looking forward to that change, because you are already looking forward to the change. Of course, there's a current state, there's a desired state, right? And so because of that, you are now, because you cannot manage the resistance, your productivity is reduced, your efficiency is reduced, or maybe you are being stubborn by being non-compliant with the demands that are placed upon you, or maybe you now begin to play absenteeism. You now begin to run away from tasks. You now begin to become very absent, or maybe you now begin to make mistakes on a constant basis, so that every single thing results in a mistake. Number 7, if I'm correct, number 6 rather, is that's controlling resistance mechanism that a lot of us develop. So we want to see a change happen in our lives, we become controlling. And one way we become controlling is when somebody brings something up, rather than fight the person, you now begin to ask a lot of unnecessary questions. Or you now try to get so involved with the change, you now begin to influence the outcomes that are supposed to take place naturally. So you now begin to push things unnecessarily. Or maybe by reason of controlling, you don't want to lose your sense of control. And so you now begin to defend the current state. So they say, this company, we want to change from this. Or maybe you say, I want to make 50 million naira. You know that this is the 50 million that you want to make. Or you say, I want to make $5,000. And then you now begin to defend why $50 is very okay. Why making $3, making $100, making $500 is very okay. You are defending your current state. Or you are even using status. And when I say using status, you are harassing people because you are maybe they are superior at work. Number 7 is you begin to build barriers. And when I talk about building barriers, excuse is a barrier to your success. Excuses are barriers to productivity. So you are given a task, the first thing you do is you come up with an excuse and say, and then because you have already created an excuse, you will not be creative enough to come up with a solution. Or maybe you will now begin to develop counter approaches. Everybody, or maybe 5 people are already trying to work this way. Some other people are already trying to work this way. You're now trying to counter everything they are doing by becoming the enemy of the state, so to say. Or maybe you now begin to recruit other people to fight the change that others are trying to accomplish. And by the way, this is what some of us do sometimes. We are looking to create certain changes in our lives, and we are recruiting the centers by following accounts, following people who will not take us to the place that we are going. Do you get it now? That is, you are building barriers to your own goal. So, for example, you want to accomplish a certain task, and the person that you pay attention to is post the most is Tunde Ednot. The person you pay attention to is post the most is Tao. Now, if Tao is going to help you accomplish your goal, it's very okay to follow her. I'm not saying you should go and follow her. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just using that as an example, okay, so that you're not going to fire me. But I'm letting you understand that sometimes you recruit the centers by doing things that are not in line with the goal you are setting for yourself. Or for some people, they now get into secrecy, or there's breakdown in trust. Now, the final one, acting out, which is where you now begin to act in conflict, you begin to fight people, you begin to get into overbearing arguments, you begin to become overbearing, so you begin to complain a lot, you begin to explore or practice what is called passive aggressive, which means that somebody will talk to you just like that, or you become passive aggressive and the person talks to you, and you don't even respond. And you're just looking at the person like, ah. Or maybe you're acting out by sabotaging everybody. Or you could be outrightly aggressive, or you can constantly celebrate failure by looking at the mistakes that you are making, by looking at the mistakes that other people are making, by focusing and intentionally celebrating all the mistakes that everybody is making. These are all resistance mechanisms that we all put up. And when I say all, I mean all of us. Every human being puts up one of these 8 resistance mechanisms. Now, what I want you to do right now is I want you to identify the one that you use. I've explained the 8 of them. Which of them has been a major challenge to you over the last 1 year? Or maybe I should extend this by over the last 3 years. You have tried, of course, you probably know the change that you make in your own, you are looking to create in your own life. And you are also aware of the goal you are looking for, the thing you want to accomplish, the thing you want to do. What have you observed from any of these 8 things that I've shown you now? Which of them have you observed that has become a resistance mechanism that you put up? Now, they don't happen naturally. We either contribute to it or somebody triggers them. So which of them has become something that you do on a constant basis? Which of them has become the mechanism you use to resist the change you are looking for in your life? I want you to go ahead and tell me that right now. Cherish says emotionally and building barriers. Amazing, amazing. I'm glad that you are able to identify that, because to be honest, if you don't identify the big problem that is standing between you and the change you want to get, you will end up remaining the same way you have always been. So you want to make money and you don't identify the roadblock and the way you are resisting the money you want to make, you want to make that money. I was there myself. And that's why I'm bold enough to share this with you. Because after studying for over 10 years, studying all kinds of things from religion to all kinds. When I say all kinds, I mean, in fact, I remember at the boot camp, the Word and Leadership boot camp that happened over the weekend in Abuja, and Blessing wanted to read my profile. I started seeing things like neuroscience, neurotheology, neurofeedback, and started seeing things like behavioral change dynamics, neuro-linguistic programming. And he said, how do I pronounce all these things? So after studying all those things, I've been able to find certain things that are common to all human beings. And that's why I'm able to share this with you right now. So, Cherish, thank you for that. Gideon says disengagement and emotional. Thank you. Peter says negativity, emotional, controlling, and sometimes disengagement. Rotimi says, ARA says disengagement, emotional, and beauty barriers. Musa says emotional and beauty barriers. Cherish says disengagement too. ARS is a little bit of work impact. Vivian, emotions and acting out. Amazing. Tosin, disengagement and emotional. Emmanuel says disengagement for me. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, let me share something with you that I did not share earlier on. You remember earlier on, I said that how change is sabotaged. And I said that change is sabotaged when your self-image does not match up with the change you are looking for. How you see yourself affects how you will achieve the change you are looking for. Self-esteem is how you perceive yourself, not the picture now. So, for example, okay, I'm seeing people raising their hands. Okay, all right. Sylvester, emotional and beauty barriers, a little bit of disengagement, negativity, avoidance, and building barriers. Amazing, 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 amazing. I want to check are the people raising their hands. So are the people raising their hands. So, okay. If you have questions, please note your questions somewhere so that I can answer them. I'm going to answer as many questions within the space of time that we have. In fact, if we will have to exceed by a little number of time, that is completely okay. So how is change sabotaged? I already mentioned earlier on, just somebody just now. I know I saw correctly. Mr. Olumide Lawson, it's good to finally see you. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. I'm honored to have you. All right. So, how is change sabotaged? Well, I've already mentioned that self-image affects how your change can happen. I've also mentioned self-esteem, and I've also talked about self-affirmation. That is the things you say to yourself. Self-image is how you see yourself. Self-esteem is how you think others perceives you. And self-affirmation is the things you say to yourself. So if you keep seeing yourself less than the change you are looking for. So for example, I've been using the example of the person who wants to make 50 million, right? So if you want to make 50 million and you don't see yourself as a person who can actually make that 50 million. I was in a conversation yesterday with a very dear friend of mine, Edward, and he explained that to me as well as one of the challenges. In fact, I remember a story. This lady is trying to build a business. She is trying to grow in her workplace. The business is a side hustle anyway. And because she's fat, she constantly sees herself as fat, constantly tells herself as fat, and constantly sees herself as being seen by other people as fat. Do you understand? Self-image, self-esteem, self-affirmation, all working against her. And by the way, your self-image, your self-esteem, your self-affirmation, they are created by you, not by somebody else. But then there are some 4 other things that also sabotage the change that you look for every time. H stands for hunger. If you are hungry, your stomach, if it is empty, you will not be able to make the change you want to make happen in your life. So take care of your gut. In fact, it's the reason why they call it gut, because there's a connection between your belly and your brain. I call it the 4 B's: the belly, brain, body, and behavior. Those 4 are very, very linked together. So your belly, if you're hungry, you can't make change happen. In fact, anytime you make a decision and you are using willpower and you say, I am determined, I will make it happen, and you are very, very determined and you are using willpower, when you are hungry, do you still hold on to that willpower? If you check, you will notice that whenever you are hungry, physically hungry now, your willpower goes down. Whenever you're hungry, your determination kind of goes down a little. You probably may have heard that get hungry, because that is a motivational way. Get hungry means, it doesn't mean that you should go without food. It means that become more ambitious, all right? Not for you to go without food. So when you're hungry, you may not be able to accomplish your goal. You know why? Because if your belly is empty, your brain will not function optimally. Even your body will not function optimally. And so your behavior is already altered and affected by that. The A is anger. If you're angry, you will not be able to accomplish the change you want to see happen. And when I say angry, there is positive anger, there's negative anger. Positive anger is the type of anger that Jesus used when he went to the temple and chased everybody outside. Jesus could not have sent everybody outside, smiling at them and say, get out of the temple, Yare. This is a place is supposed to be the house of prayer. So please go out, everybody go out, go out, go out. He must have been angry by saying, get out. Get out of this place. This place is a house of prayer. Everyone go out. He must have been angry. So there is positive anger, there's negative anger. In this case, negative anger sabotages the change you are looking for in your life. L is lonely. When you are lonely, you may not accomplish the change you want to see happen in your life. Let me explain that to you. Only you cannot accomplish the goal you have. Only you cannot do every single thing you want to do. Only you cannot accomplish the goal you have. Only you cannot accomplish your mission. You need other people. And so you'll find that when you are lonely, there's a tendency to fall back to the default state, to the current state, and not to move forward to the desired state that you want to get to. And so when you are lonely, when you isolate yourself and try to work alone, like one club, Liverpool, right? Where you work alone, you are subject to the dictates of loneliness. And by the way, you can be in a crowd, You can be in a house that is filled with people and still be lonely, because there's a difference between aloneness and loneliness. Do you get me now? Which is why you need community. You need people to help you. You need people. You need to get into a community. And by the way, 2021 is the year of community, collaboration. So if you are not joining a community, if you are not finding a community to belong to, you are already missing out. There are a lot of opportunities that will not ever be in the public space. They will only be available in certain communities. So don't try to be lonely. Every time you are lonely, you sabotage yourself. And the last one, which is T, is tired. When you are tired, you are likely not to accomplish your goal, which is why you should always find a way to rest. That way, you will notice I've already shared with you 4 things that you can do right now, right? Now, me share with you some further details here. I already told you that lesson transformation is coming up, right? Lesson transformation, sorry about that. In case you have questions, please, you can now begin to ask your questions. Gideon says, please come again with the self-perception, self-esteem, and self-affirmation. So I'm going to answer that. If you have questions at this point, please begin to type them now. Now, this, on the 21st of January, which is just about 4 days away or 5 days away from now, will be, at this moment, I'm opening up an opportunity for you to work with me and get into a community, get beyond all the things that are not working for you. Now, here's what I wanted to note. Over the next 3 days from 21, 22, 23, these are the things that I want to be able to walk you through in details. Number 1 is the first day we'll focus on mastering influence. I always say this: you can't influence any change except you already understand what influences you. So most people don't know what influences them, and so they cannot create any influence. You know that people will say that I want to be very influential, I want to be this. You can't influence what, or let me say this way, you cannot influence what you don't know what influences it. The same way you can't influence yourself if you don't know what already influences you. So if you want to create change, you need to master the influence. So what we focused on that day is using assessments. So it's not going to be like you're going to be talk. We are going to be using scientific tools, diagnostic tools that are going to help you identify exactly what motivates you, why you behave the way you do, why you've not been able to accomplish your goals, what has stopped you so far. We'll be able to scientifically diagnose them, and we'll be able to help you create exactly what you need to do next. The second day, we'll focus on mastering behavioral transformation. Now, if you want to master how to change any habit or behavior, you first start by changing the keystone and interrupting the regular patterns that the behavior follows. Now, most behaviors follow a script, a sequence that I created. I talked about this in my book. This is it here. It runs through a sequence called scenario, script, stories, states, and then strategy. Scenarios are the things that happen. Scripts are the things we absorb from the things that happen. So nothing exactly means anything except until you actually make a meaning out of it. Then you now create a story, then it creates a state, and then you now create a strategy that you now use to execute it. So whether you are battling masturbation, depression, addiction, phobia, social anxiety, low self-esteem, blaming, or you are busy fault finding and finding reasons why you cannot accomplish your goals, the second day will help you deal with that. The third day will focus on mastering personal leadership. Of course, you remember I mentioned that change requires change leadership, not regular leadership. The leadership that will help you direct the change. So that third day, we are going to integrate your learnings into a personal leadership plan, a concise system to go from leading yourself to leading others in just 4 steps. Now, let me share the story of OVA Rachel. Now, this particular person went from being this shape to being very slim by reason of her experience after lasting transformation. In fact, she said I couldn't define why I did what I did most times. I've read books on temperaments and personality traits, but never have I been satisfied. So if you are the kind of person who are a personal development junkie, lasting transformation is the missing link you are missing. And I am bold to tell you that if you don't take lasting transformation, you will not be able to accomplish certain things. Now, notice I don't say everything. You will not be able to accomplish certain goals, certain dreams, certain desires that you have. The current state that you are in will most likely suck you back because of the things that are pulling you back. So you need lasting transformation. So it's the lasting transformation. I've done whole lot in my personal life and my professional life. I've been equipped to understand myself better and make informed decisions concerning what concerns me and my affairs. I've also learned how to help others by questions and having a deep understanding of who they have and their behavioral influencer. This is the best course I took so far. Now, at this point, let's discuss something, what I call the inner force for change. So if you have left this webinar at this point, this is where you want to tell them, guys, come back. This is where you want to tell them, guys, come back. Now, remember again, if you have questions, go ahead and type them. I'm going to answer them. Yami says, you got me a personal development junkie. Thank you for that. And to be honest, lasting transformation is really, really the missing link in a personal development junkie's life. The moment you understand the things that you will learn in lasting transformation, you most likely throw away a lot of books. You understand why a lot of books have not been very helpful to you. Amazing, amazing. So at this point, let's discuss what I call the inner force for change. Remember, so far we've talked about a lot of things, right? Now, let's talk about some other things that we don't usually talk about that are necessary for us to talk about, which is what I call the inner force for change. Remember earlier on, I mentioned as well that when people want to change, they need to understand why they want to change. You remember, right? You remember here, Secrets of Change, that people need to understand why they want to change. So let me now share with you the 6 reasons, the 6 whys that people try to change, the 6 whys that people want to change. If you're interested in that, can I see your yes? So if I get 10 years, I'm going to continue. If I don't get 10 years, I'm not going to continue. And by the way, if you want to register for Lasting Transformation right now, you can go ahead and go to, I have a 24 hours offer for you that's only available for just the next 24 hours. And this means that, see, the thing is, Lasting Transformation currently right now, let me see, Lasting Transformation currently right now is, you get 20,000 naira. If you pay 20,000 naira, you only access the Zoom class. You get assessment form, you get access to the recording, you get digital workbook. But if you go for the 35,000 naira package, which is the private session, you get access to live Zoom class, you get access to assessment forms, you get all the recordings, you get the digital workbook, but you get access to a private WhatsApp group for accountability. So we can hold you accountable for the goals you want to accomplish. You also get a 60-minute private one-on-one coaching and therapy call with me. And if you want to, you can break your 60 minutes into 2 sessions. You can break it into 3 sessions. It all depends on you, as long as it is 60 minutes. You also get what I call Goals to Growth Mastery Bundle. Now, you can see that this is the current price. Now, for the next 24 hours, it's only available for just 10,000 naira, not the 20,000 naira and not the 35,000 naira. So if you want to join Lasting Transformation, I'm going to recommend right now that while you are still here right now, open a tab, open your browser, type dayosamuel.com/24 and go ahead and register. Go ahead and register. Of course, I'm going to go back to this so that I can share with you the inner force for change. But go ahead right now, dayosamuel.com/24. Go ahead right now and register. That will help you. So rather than paying 20K or paying 35K, you're only paying 10K to access the class. If you go to dayosamuel.com/lasting-transformation, you will see it there right now that it is currently available for 20K and 35K. 35K gives you access to private one-on-one session. But for the next 24 hours, it's available. Yes, dayosamuel.com/24. That's correct. dayosamuel.com/24. It takes you directly to making payment. So that will take you directly to where you can make payments and you get access to the 35K package for just the 10K. That's what I'm saying. So you are not paying the 35K. Instead, you are only paying the 10K, but it's only available for the next 24 hours. After the next 24 hours, the price changes to, I think that should be 15K or 20K also. I'm not sure. So at this point, I want to pause that here and then let's focus back on the inner force for change. Why is it that people don't change? Why is it difficult for people to change? Remember again that I already said that for people to change, they need to understand why they are changing. So whether in workplace, whether in personal life, whether in their spiritual life, like you want to get close to God, why do you want to get close to God? Why do you want to make that change happen? A lot of us don't know why. So I'm going to share with you the why. Of course, a lot of times the why is usually very, very personal, but you understand why right now. So first thing here is what I call the inner force for change. Number one is what I call certainty. For those who were at Word and Leadership Bootcamp over the weekend, they will remember that I mentioned some of these while I was doing the session in the morning. Now, certainty means that the reason why you want to change is you just want to be sure of certain things. You just want to be certain about things in your life. So it could be that you want to make money so that you can have the assurance, like, give me assurance. You just want to have the assurance that I am not broke. The assurance that I can do anything I want to do anytime I want to do it. That could be the reason we want to change. Number two is what I call variety. People want to change because sometimes people just need variety in their lives. They don't want things to remain the way it has always been. They want, like, I want fun. I want difference. I want things to change. Do you understand? Like, so it could be that you want something to change because you are tired of the way things are. You are tired. You just need a new experience in your life. And so people whose inner force for change, whose reason for change is variety, they're the kind of persons you see that they like traveling a lot. They like, so it could be that they like changing the interior of their house a lot. They like changing cars a lot. Are you getting me now? That could be a reason for change. Another reason for change, number three, is significance. And significance talks about control, power, status. So some people, the reason why they want to change is because they want to feel powerful. They want to be in a position of meaning. They want to have more meaning in their lives. Do you get it now? And number four, it could be connection. They want to be connected to certain people. They want to be, so for example, it could be that the reason, okay, this is even very clear now. Let me scroll through the chart and mention somebody's goal for the year. So somebody mentioned earlier on that I want to be close to God, right? So you can see that the reason why you want to be close to God is because you want to have connection. That is your why. You want to have connection. Do you understand? You want to have a deeper connection with God. And number four is growth. People who are personal development junkies, one of the reasons why they go from book to book, from class to class, from course to course, from this to that, is because their inner force for change is growth. Their primary mindset is they want to grow, they want to develop, they want to be a better person. And so they are driven by growth. I know as I'm saying this right now, some of you are having, whoa, aha. So some of you are having aha moments, and I very much understand. In fact, it's the reason why I'm doing this part for free, so that you already have this. If you come into Lasting Transformation, I'm going to go deeper on this and give you, in fact, you'll be the one to identify exactly the area that the exact thing that is driving you. And number six is contribution. Some people are driven by contribution. Some people, the inner force for their change will be contribution. Now, let me explain that using what somebody has mentioned here. Somebody earlier on talked about, I want to have impact, right? So I'm scrolling through the chat to see the person who mentioned that. So Becky said, you're an ambassador for girl, child, and women in Africa. Now you can see that there's significance in that, and you can also see that there is contribution, right? So sometimes in statements like that, we can easily identify, well, because I'm a professional, when people tell me things that they want to accomplish, sometimes I can easily identify what's driving them from just the fact that they make certain statements. So somebody says I'm trying to look for somebody that says, okay, good. This is Musa Bello. He says, my 2021 goal is to be more closer to God, connection, make lots of money, significance, help more vulnerable people, orphans and widows. That's contribution. And to create a business that will reduce the rate of unemployment. That is to create a business that will reduce the rate of unemployment. That is what? Certainty. And to make legit friends. That is what? Connection. Now, can you see that from just this statement that Musa Bello has made, you can see the inner force for his change. Now, this is where it really matters. So I want you to really understand what's going on here. If you don't know what is really the inner force for your change, for the result you are looking for, if you don't understand exactly what's driving it, you will, by your own self, you will do things against that change you are looking for. So you will, by your own hand, resist that change by your own self. In fact, you will even create a team to help you destroy the goal that you're looking for, because the inner force is not connected to what you are looking for. So, for example, the moment I explained what Musa Bello is looking for right now, he may like, wow, so this is that. But the interesting thing is that if he doesn't understand that it's driven by significance, driven by connection, driven by contribution, driven by certainty, he may go ahead and start looking at other people who are making all of these things happen and start getting into that self that is sabotaging change again. And so he now starts looking at himself and say that, you see, I've always known I can't even make it happen. You see, I can't even create a business. I already have a life that does not allow business to grow. So I'm even this. And so it now begins to self-sabotage. If you understand what I'm explaining, please type yes in the chat box right now. Type yes right now. Let me know that you are getting me. Type yes, let me know that you're getting me. I need your yeses to continue, please. If this is making sense to you, please type yes. I told myself that I am going to be very brutal with people in this session tonight. In fact, some people who know me may know that this probably may be like the first time that I'm talking like this on a webinar. This is because I'm tired of people who say they want to change and still they don't get the change. And so they go year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out. It's the same thing that they are putting on their goals every year. It's the same thing that they are saying that they want to do every year. The same way, every year you want to start a business. Every year you are still the same way you are. That's the reason why I'm doing this. I'm tired of how a lot of people have been doing things. Okay? If you have been struggling with any change, this is the time for you to completely eliminate that. Emmanuel Adebola says I've registered and my registration is approved. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So again, you can go ahead and register right now. I'm getting your yes, Julius, Christian, Becky, Adeshina, Fisaya, Emmanuel, Cherish. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Christian Omoko says no, sir. I'm not sure I understand. No, sir. Shegun says yes. My network is breaking. The Koge. Oh, sorry. And by the way, while I'm being brutal, I might not be brutal enough. You know why? Because if I get into certain details, some people will dislike themselves because, see, you don't understand. There are things that you want to see happen in your life that will never happen because of the way you have been doing things, because of the way you've been fighting your own change, the way you've been handling the transition states that you are in. Hey, oh my God. Anyway, so here's the next steps I'm going to recommend to everybody right now. All of us on this webinar, I'm going to recommend to you right now that this is your next step. Lasting transformation is your next step. I mean, you need lasting transformation in your life. You need lasting transformation for your 2021. I am saying that lasting transformation is that solution, the missing link between everything you've been trying to do that you've not accomplished so far. Whether you've been trying to make money, whether you've been trying to get into a relationship, whether you've been trying to grow your business, lasting transformation is that solution that you need. And lasting transformation is just 3 master steps to create permanent and positive changes in your life, personally and professionally. Now, what do you get from lasting transformation? Number 1, you get clarity. You're able to develop a crystal clear vision on what to do, who to be, and how to best translate your message, gifts, and experience into transformational experiences for yourself. Number two thing you get with lasting transformation is you are able to go beyond delivering information, beyond acquiring information. You're able to get to that point where you are able to utilize every information that comes your way becomes meaningful because you can now fit them into boxes that you have already created. Number three thing is when you participate in lasting transformation, you will be able to attract your kind of tribe. Remember, loneliness is one of the reasons why people sabotage their own change process, right? With lasting transformation, you will master how to attract your tribe. Number four, you will understand what style of systems and structure will fit you and your audience. And my audience, I'm referring to your market, I'm referring to the industry you play in, to the work that you do, so that you can deliver maximum transformation and impact. So if you are the person who's looking to make impact, lasting transformation will help you create structure and systems to help you deliver that impact. Number five, rather, you will create a transformational path for yourself. You know, there are clients that before they work with us, they like to experience us. There are people who, before they sign up for anything we have, they like to experience what we have. You will be able to create such transformational paths such that people will begin to have certain experiences even before, in fact, while they are consuming your content, while they are consuming the things that you create, you'll be having certain experiences long before they even pay or sign up for any big packages. So that means that if you are going to, if you are trying to make 50 million naira, it means that you will be able to create a transformational path such that the person who wants to for example, I've always learned that sometimes you don't necessarily have to struggle to make money. And that is completely honest. You can become an attraction point for money. Somebody like Elon Musk. Is lasting transformation a physical class, online or recorded class? Lasting transformation is a 3-day class that's happening via Zoom. And it's an intensive class. So it starts from 10 a.m. in the morning, if I'm correct, at 10 or 11 a.m. in the morning, and lasts for 4 hours. As you can see that it's very, very intensive. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So it's not a recorded class. It's not a physical class. It is basically an online class. It's an online training. You get access to all the recording. You get access to all the worksheets, to all the digital worksheets that we'll use in class, assessment, everything. As I mentioned, lasting transformation currently right now is available for 20K for live class, for those who want to attend just the live class alone. But for those who want a private session with me, who also want to belong to a private WhatsApp group, of course, the private one-on-one includes 60 minutes, and you can break it to as many minutes that you like. So you can have 15 minutes in 4 times, you can have 30 minutes twice, and it also comes with a goals to growth mastery bundle. All right. Now, for the next 24 hours, it's only available for just 10K. And when I say the 10K, I'm referring to the 35,000 naira package. It's only available for the next 24 hours for just 10K. So if I am you, the next thing I want to do right now is I want to go ahead and quickly sign up before the 24 hours expires. That's what you want to do. Now, at this point, let me let you know that lasting transformation only takes place for 3 days. You get lifetime benefits. So for the rest of your life, you'll be glad that you attended lasting transformation, that you were part of lasting transformation. Now, this is what Amaka Solomon, who happens to be a Nollywood actress, this is what she said. And by Nollywood actress, I mean she has a movie that she has made. I think she has about 2 or 3 movies that she has made. This is Amaka Solomon, and she said, before coming to lasting transformation, I was confused and floating. I was doing a lot, but not achieving much financially and otherwise. I used to think that I had spiritual problem. That is, I had a spirit of confusion. But lasting transformation corrected all those things. So sometimes spiritual problems are reasons not. I wish we can have what we get or be expecting on lasting transformation to be displayed on screen. I just displayed that. But now, lasting transformation has served that to take our job seriously. Our fears were resolved without our directly knowing, and some frames were broken. So what do you get from lasting transformation? Number 1, again, these are the 3 things we are going to focus for the first day. We'll focus on Mastering influence, how to discover the core desires behind influencing why you behave the way you do so that you can achieve more goals, meet targets, and fulfill your dreams. Second day, we'll focus on mastering behavioral transformation. So this is where you now master the habits you will need to achieve your goals, the habits you need to accomplish the desires that you have, the dreams, the desires, the goals, the 2021 goal that you have, the first quarter goal that you have. You remember that I asked you earlier on that what is your 2021 goal and what is your first quarter goal? And I asked that if you're having this conversation, if you're meeting in a webinar, or maybe we meet in a class, or we meet, or we are chatting on WhatsApp, or we are talking in about 3 months' time from now, what would need to have happened for you to be happy that you attended this class? Lasting transformation is what is going to help you design exactly how to go from where you are to where you want to be, using a unique behavioral transformation system that I developed. Now, the third day, we're going to focus on mastering personal leadership, which is where you now integrate all of your learnings into a personal leadership plan, a concise system, just first step that you design it into a first step. You will know exactly, this is what I need to do first, this is what I need to do next, this is what I need to do next, and this is what I need to do next, so that you can accomplish your goals. And here is Noah Bello. Noah Bello is a teacher, is a counselor, is a coach, and a consultant. Before attending Lasting Transformation, he was overwhelmed by what he does. And he used to turn down opportunities to help people. I want you to, if you are the type of person who's driven by impact, I want to see lives change. I want you to consider right now what it means to be turning down clients because you are afraid, because you feel like you are not well equipped. And so you are turning down opportunities to help people. That was how Noah Bello was before he attended Lasting Transformation. But after Lasting Transformation, he became better equipped to lead people to help themselves rather than trying to do the helping for them. And then he started getting faster results in less time and session. So if you want to go faster, you need Lasting Transformation. If you want to get better results, you need Lasting Transformation. If you need, okay, thank you. D. Koge, thank you. I believe they've already answered you. So again, the private session is already going for 35K. The live class is 20K, but for the next 24 hours, it's available for just 10,000 naira. So in order to enroll in that, go to dayosamuel.com/24 right now. Now, what happens is that by the end of these 24 hours, the price changes. The link will automatically expire from, this is 9:56 p.m. By 8 p.m. tomorrow, the dayosamuel.com/24 will automatically expire. So it will not lead you to anywhere. You will not even be able to make payment anymore after 24 hours. You know why? Because by then, another one kicks in, 48 hours. So you might need to write this down. Now, for the next 48 hours, by that time, the 48-hour offer will be, I think that should be maybe 15K or maybe 13K. I think it should be 15K. So you will be able to sign up for the 35,000 session for just 15K. So if you can't sign up now for 10K within the next 24 hours for 10K, then it's also available for the next 48 hours for just 15K. After that time, it goes back to the original price of 20,000 and 35,000. So you will need to be very, very fast. If you need to borrow to do this, I'm going to recommend that you do that, because to be honest, by the time you are done with Lasting Transformation, you will be able to see clear path how to actually make that money back. And for the fact that I'm a therapist, a coach, and a consultant, and consulting is in the area of business consulting, so I'll be able to help you create things that you can do to actually generate income, to generate money, to even pay that back. Now, that's a promise I'm making to you. If you are the person who borrowed, okay, if you did not borrow, we'll also work on something similar to that. So go ahead right now, dayosamuel.com/24 for the next 24 hours, or dayosamuel.com/48 if you are not able to get in within the next 24 hours. By 9:57 tomorrow, by 10 p.m. tomorrow, the link expires, and then the next one becomes active. All right. Now, I know some people have questions. At this point, I want you to ask your questions. So one question that I know that a lot of people ask is this. A lot of people ask this question: is change permanent or temporary? So let's discuss, everyone. Is change permanent or temporary? Who can help? Who can provide a figurative idea of whether change happens permanently or temporarily? Who can answer that? Who can try to point us in that direction? If you can, please just type in the chat box. You can still see all of us are still here. Very good. Okay, Dikoge says it happens temporary. Great. Great. Another person, is change permanent or temporary? Is change permanent or temporary? Amazing. Change is permanent. Okay. It can be both depending on the will of the individual. Hey. Temporary. It is permanent. Emmanuel says it is permanent. Kenny says can be permanent or temporal. Tolua Lopez says the effect of change can be permanent or temporary. Amazing. Gideon says if the person has the will to sustain the change, then it will be permanent. Amazing. For it to be permanent, you have to sustain it. Chinaza, thank you. Now, this is what I want to say. Change is both permanent and is both temporary. What a lot of people do is they create change on the temporary basis. That is, they create temporal change. Now, when you create temporal change, what you will need to make the change permanent, that becomes your behavior, your habit, your decisions, the choices you make, and more importantly, your behaviors. You may have heard that it takes 21 days for for a change to become permanent, right? Well, as a neuroscience student, we have found that 21 day is when the change becomes temporary. So if you want to make change, for it to become temporary, you need that 21 days. For it to become permanent, you need a minimum of 12 weeks. That is between 66 to 99 days for change to be permanent. So you have to repeat it. Now, if you don't understand what that means, let me explain to you from a neuroscientific perspective. Everything you have learned this night has already created a new network in your brain. So a new network is already established in your brain. The problem is that 72 hours from now, your brain will go back to its default state. To everything that you've just experienced now, your brain will go back to its default state. So in order to make what you've learned from this session and what you've experienced from this session so far, to make it permanent, you will need to constantly re-expose yourself to this same thing, back to back. And so you have to do it for it to be temporary for 21 days. And then for it to now create permanent behavior change, habit change, I've forgotten the other thing I mentioned. For it to create permanent behavior change, you need to make it about 66 to 99 days, which is about 9 to 12 weeks for it to become permanent. That part is what a lot of people don't do. So they get sunk back in to their original default state, which is what I showed you here. So they get sunk back in their original state, and that their current state now becomes something that now becomes part of their lives. In fact, you remember I already mentioned this earlier on, that the current state has tremendous holding power. So the moment you try to change, uncertainty begins. Uncertainty of success. You are not sure you will succeed. The fear of the unknown, they all work together, and then they now begin to block the change and create resistance. So that change that is supposed to be permanent now becomes temporary. Did I answer anybody's question? Is that clear? Do you not understand why change can either be temporary or permanent? If you understand that, please let me know. So I'm back on my screen here. I'm back on my screen here. Let me know. If you got what I just explained now, let me know. Did you get that? Did you get that? Say yes, let me know that you got that. Now, at this point, I'm going to remind you again, Latin transformation is only available for the next 24. Of course, it's permanently open. Anytime you choose to enroll, you can enroll. Of course, that's when enrollment is currently open, and it's available for 20,000 for just being a nominal member, or 35,000 for belonging to a private WhatsApp group, and also having access to me personally. That is, I'm going to personally coach and work with you for 60 minutes. And as I mentioned it before, you can break the 60 minutes into 2 or 3, depending on your choice. So you can break it into 3 20 minutes, or you can break it to 2 30 minutes. It depends on you. But in total, it's 60 minutes. But for the next 24 hours, it's only available for just 10K. So you're only paying just 10,000 naira to have access to that 35,000 naira package. All right? So make a decision right now. At this point, I want to take questions. If you have questions right now that you would like me to answer, please go ahead and answer here. Go ahead and ask your questions. Remember, the last question I just treated is change temporary or permanent. I believe that already answers a lot of your question. So if you still have questions, please go ahead and ask at this point. Please go ahead and ask. And maybe I should even share a little bit of somebody's testimonial here. This person is the head of an organization that helps people with sickle cell. So she's a genetic counselor. She helps people with genetic information and all that. Her name is Maureen Wachi. And you can see she said that before Latin translation, she used to get people talking about their challenges. She could make them feel better, but was unable to help them obtain results or even measure the level of impact. But now, she's able to understand human behaviors better. She's well-groomed and eager to follow due process of leading clients to their desired goals. Not convincing enough. This is Toluche. It says, Latin transformation is one program that changed my thought completely about how I approach issues. It opened my mind to see that there's so much I can do and achieve from different angles. I got to know that I can never run out of ideas or what to sell. I also learned to try different methods with clients, as one will surely work. So I can continue to do plenty of such testimonials. Plenty. This is Elizabeth Akunyili here. This before I began Latin transformation course, I always questioned why addiction was easy to begin and difficult to stop, and why many people complained about one thing, but the real problem was always many layers below. This program myself as an individual to be less judgmental and to listen to myself with an open mind. With my clients, I'm learning practically that I cannot assume 2 clients will need the same techniques simply because they have similar needs. Even if they have similar needs, the environment and driving desires have positioned them to respond differently. You can see, and this is obvious, it says, I couldn't define why I did what I did most times. I just know that I just keep struggling. I've read books on temperament and personality traits, but never have I been satisfied. I just felt maybe I'm a different species. Lasting transformation has done a whole lot in my personal life and my professional life. And as I mentioned, she went from being an intimacy coach to becoming somebody who now helps people change their physical look. That's what Ovie went from. She went from somebody who just helped people in the area of bedroom stuff, in the area of sexual intimacy, to going from there to helping people alter their physical look. In fact, she altered her own personal look after Latin transformation. She went from somebody who was big to somebody that is now slim. And then she now deploys everything she learned from Latin transformation, deployed it for other people too. Of course, that's because Latin transformation has levels. There's a level that you are getting into right now that is workshop. You need that workshop first before you can get into that second level, which is certification. Of course, in the time that we need to do certification, you almost likely know as well. So there's a Latin transformation that is the workshop, the class level, and there's a level that is workshop, that is certification. It says, I've been equipped to understand myself better and make informed decisions concerning what concerns me and my affairs. I've also learned better how to help others. So if you want to help others, Latin transformation is a big change. And again, remember I said what you get with Latin transformation is you get clarity. you develop a crystal clear vision on what to do, who to be, and how to translate your message, gifts, experience, ideas into transformational experiences. You will go beyond delivering information. So if you are the person who has been teaching people, you will master how to go beyond delivering information. If you observe this session so far, yes, I have used information to share with you. I've used information here, but I've actually created a certain experience for you in this session. If I'm correct, tell me yes. If I'm correct, I've created an experience for you in this session so far. And the thing is, according to Oliver Wendell Holmes, a mind that is stretched to a new idea, to a new dimension, may never go back to its original state. So the third thing you'll get is you'll be able to attract a kind of tribe, the kind of people who are truly looking to create the kind of change you are looking to create yourself. Remember that hunger, loneliness, and tiredness are 4 things that sabotage change. Number 4, you understand what style of system structure will fit you and your audience best to deliver maximum transformation and impact. And number 5, you'll be able to create a transformational path such that people can get results from you long before they even start working with you. As I mentioned, this is available for the next 24 hours. So go ahead right now. Go ahead and register right now. Let me see that you've registered. What's his name? Emmanuel. Thank you for registering. Thank you for registering. Thank you for registering. Thank you for registering. I've already seen Emmanuel. I can see that Emmanuel is already registered. And Akolade Oluwatoba earlier on in this session mentioned that, okay, this is Akolade Oluwatoba. Yes, it says Latin transformation helped my journey to be faster. Thank you, Dayo Samuel. So you can be there, and so you can waste your entire time trying to create change without knowing exactly how to make the change faster. So Latin transformation will also help your journey of that change be faster. So if you are the person who's looking for that, then Latin transformation is what you should be in, is where you should be over the next 3 days. Of course, it's starting by 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. You get all the recordings. You get it's a Zoom class, so we are going to be live here inside Zoom. It's not going to be live streamed. Neither is it going to be made available to anybody else. So it's just going to be all of us privately inside this Zoom session. And then you get access to a private WhatsApp group. You also get access to me personally. So I'm going to personally work with you. And then you also get access to what I call the Goals to Growth Mastery Bundle. Now, the Goals to Growth Mastery Bundle shows you how to take your goals from just being a goal that you set for yourself to being an opportunity for growth. So at this point, let me take questions. I can see a few questions. Okay, Peter says yes, you have. Emmanuel says yes, you have. Abaje says yes, you have. So Cherish says, how does one balance one's emotion? Now, to balance your emotion, because you're asking of emotion and this class, okay, you said most times when I'm at a task, I often battle with my emotions. I find myself judging and cheering myself up at different intervals. Okay, Cherish, would you like to come on a voice? Would you like to unmute yourself? Would it be okay for me to ask you to unmute so that you can just let's do a quick coaching session? Okay, great. So I'm going to unmute Cherish right now. Let me scroll through and find so Cherish. So you can now unmute yourself, Cherish. All right. So go ahead. Give me context for that question. Now, by the way, this is what everybody that registers in Latin transformation, this is what they get. It's going to be so personalized. So it's not just going to be John's generic information. Okay. So Cherish, let me know that you're ready and please go ahead and ask your question. I'm listening to hear you and I can still hear you yet.
Hello?
Yes, hello. I can hear you now.
Good evening.
Good
I
evening.
said, so let me give in a practical example. Earlier this week, I was doing a task. I was like designing something. At some point, I was like, beg, it won't work. This thing I'm doing, I'm just like wasting time and everything. You know, it was just like, I was doubting myself and like criticizing every single work I put into it. I was like, this thing is not work. This thing will not be fine and everything. So then After that, I got frustrated and actually dropped it. Then later on, I was like, Cherish, do this thing now. It's just one. It's just as if I'm being split into two personalities. At one time, I'm like, oh, I beg, you can't do this thing. At another time, I'm like, okay, try again. So it's rather confusing.
Amazing, amazing. I think I get that. So, do you do that on a frequent basis, or it's just maybe one time?
No, it happens like often.
Okay. And how do you feel anytime it happens?
Sir,
How do you feel anytime that happens?
I feel very bad.
And when you cheer yourself and get yourself out of it, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel slightly happy. Then I get back to it, and most times it comes out successful.
Okay. When you are feeling down and feeling like a battling your emotions, and then when you now feel great, so let's say the last time, when was the last time this happened?
I think 2 days ago.
Okay, so walk me through that the 2 days ago. 2 days ago, when this was happening, what did you do to change from feeling down to now feeling great? What did you do?
I didn't. I don't. I didn't really do anything. I just thought about that. Okay, this thing is important, and I need to get it done. So I had to like tell myself that you can do it, and I just said, okay, let me give it one more try. And I also asked my cousin, like, okay, what do you think about this? Is this thing okay? Do you think it's good? Should I work more on it? So that's what I did.
Please clap for yourself. Now look at the screen. Look at some of the things I listed here on the screen. Which of them, with what you just explained now, self-image, self-esteem, self-affirmation, which of them do you think you did in order to get yourself out of that negative emotional state into a positive state?
Okay. The first, when I did self-affirmation, I had to like tell myself that I can actually do it. Then I also did, I think, self-esteem. Yeah.
Please clap for yourself again. And the third thing that you did, which is not listed on this screen, is that you sought validation from someone. Sometimes
Yes.
the validation can come from people. Sometimes it can come from us as self-affirmation. All right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what if you now do this? Perhaps maybe when you wake up in the morning and when you want to go to bed at night, you self-affirm yourself that you can do this. You create a positive image of yourself. What if you can do that every single day and give it more like a project? Every single day, you are going to tell yourself that I can do this. Remember that 2 days ago, you were down and then you started feeling great after doing the same thing. What if you can make it a process? Remember that I already explained earlier on that change is oftentimes a process. It's not like a switch. You were feeling down. You went from feeling down to feeling great because you activated a process. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
What if you can make, rather than making it temporary, what if you can now make it permanent? What will it take for you to do that?
I think it would take me like believing that I can do it and actually like putting in the effort.
So what's stopping you from believing in and putting in that effort?
Myself.
Thank you very much for joining me on this call. Has that answered your question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can you now see how this play out? The reason why I did not provide the answer is because my philosophy is that wisdom already exists in man. A man of understanding helps the man with the wisdom existing in him to bring it out. This is what I mean. Wisdom already exists in you. I'm a man of understanding. And when I say I'm a man of understanding, understanding goes beyond just acquisition of knowledge. Acquisition of knowledge is just one level. For example, Daniel 11:32 says that those that know their God shall be strong and do exploits, right? But Daniel 11:33 says that those who understand will lead many. So I'm a man of understanding. I can see that anywhere across the world. I'm a man of understanding. So when I meet people, I see them as people who already possess wisdom. At that point, they may be clouded. They may not be able to see that wisdom. And so my work as a man of understanding is to help them bring it up so that they can see their own wisdom. So please, Cherish, clap for yourself for uncovering your own wisdom right now. I hope that you will join Lasting Transformation so that you can learn a lot deeper so that you can make this a regular experience for yourself. Because to be honest, you can change this from just something you experienced 2 days ago to something you can experience every single day for the next 365 days. And if you feel great every day of your life, tell me, what will you achieve?
Almost everything.
The projects that you are working on, will you
Yes.
be able to easily do them?
I will.
So go ahead and join me in Lasting Transformation. I'll be glad to have you in Lasting Transformation. In fact, you should be one of those persons that should be in Lasting Transformation. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm seeing Emmanuel. Emmanuel, do you have a question, please? If you have a question, please go ahead. Type the question, and then I will bring you up. Emeka Ezelue, do you have a question, please? If you can type the question so that I will know whether to unmute you or not to unmute you. So I need that. So at this point, if you have questions, and if you don't have questions, I think I'm already a little bit beyond time. If this has been a wonderful experience for you and you've enjoyed yourself so far, please let me know in the comments right now. Let me know. Has this been a wonderful experience for you? What one thing have you learned in this webinar that you will make use of over the next few days? I want you to type that. Emmanuel, go ahead now. So let me be humble for now till Lasting Transformation. Go ahead, share. What are your learnings? What are the things? What new thing have you learned in this session today that's going to help you? What new thing have you learned in this session today that's going to help you? So I need that as a personal feedback right now. So what new thing have you learned today that's going to personally help you? And remember, while you are doing that, Lasting Transformation is only available for the next 24 hours for just 10,000 Naira. So go ahead right now. If you need to enroll, go ahead and enroll right now. In fact, you must enroll. You know why you must enroll? Because you cannot make change happen by isolating yourself, by being lonely. Chinaza says that I can talk myself out of my downtimes because what really experience is something I feel too. Oh, amazing. So you can see you have just uncovered an answer. Cherish, thank you for sharing that because you just helped Chinaza. Cherish says, I can create my change and make it fun. Amazing. So I would like everyone, please go ahead, share your learnings. What are the things you've learned today? Gideon Ogbonan, thank you very much. Gideon has already enrolled. Saviors has already enrolled. Emmanuel has already enrolled. I can see your names popping up. I'm getting notification from admin for your name. Thank you, Dayo Samuel. I appreciate this session. Thank you, Chinaza, for being in this session too. I totally appreciate you. At this point, everybody can unmute themselves. So I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself now. So if you want to say anything, if you want to, whether you want to even tell me how well this webinar has been great for you, go ahead and share that with me right now. In fact, if you want to turn on your video and come on screen, you can even do that. So go ahead right now. Everybody are free. You can go ahead right now. Yep. You can unmute yourself. That's what I mean.
First, I was challenged by a 2050 goal. I was already having 1 year goal. Just thinking of 10-year goal. Now that someone has 2050 goal, like, man. Another thing I learned that is different, I've not seen anywhere in books I've not read, is the resistance for change. And the secret for change. The secret for change is that the change is difficult. Acceptance, I think, is difficult. Yes, change is a process. It's not a switch. Change, the process has to be initiated. Although yes, change is personal. People resist change. People need to understand why people need change leadership. Those are exceptional for me. Like I haven't come across that before, and it's an eye opener for me. And I wish to go deeper to learn more. I wish this thing could be more deeper for me to, you know, to grab. So that is it for me tonight.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I'm glad. Thank you that you're already registered for Latin Transformation. So you will experience the deeper part as we get into Latin Transformation. Thank you very, very much. Amazing guy. Thank you for that. So who else wants to share? Who else wants to share? If you're not talking, you can mute yourself. Who else wants to share? 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 You can mute yourself if you want to. You can unmute yourself. That's what I mean. If you can mute yourself if you want to. I would like to hear from two more persons. Emeka say, I can't wait for lasting transformation. Me too, I can't wait to have you, Emeka. You'll be glad that you did. In fact, it's going to be, if you join lasting transformation, you most likely, as I mentioned earlier on, you most likely not to continue to be a personal development junkie who just be going from one class to the other, one course to the other, one lecture to the other. And actually, as I mentioned earlier on, the reason why we go from one course to the other is because we are drowning in information and we are seeking wisdom. So remember I mentioned that my work is, I am a man of understanding. Everybody already has wisdom they are looking for in them. My work as the man of understanding is to help you bring out that wisdom. So if you want that wisdom to be experienced in your life and you want to experience that wisdom on a personal and a professional level, in your personal life, in your work life, in your business, go ahead and enroll in Lasting Transformation. Go ahead, register. Can't wait. Emeka says I'm tired, sir. That's amazing. That's amazing. Peter says, each time I join any of your webinar, I try to pay equal attention to your slides as well as how you explain it. You are truly a man of understanding. Oh, I'm touched. Peter, thank you very much for that. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. So again, remember, guys, don't forget. Lasting Transformation is only available for the next 24 hours for just 10,000 naira. By 10 p.m. tomorrow, it goes from that to, I think, 15K. It increases from that over the next 24 hours. After the next 24 hours, it increases from that. So at this point, I want to say thank you to everyone for being in this webinar. Thank you very much if you've joined me from any part of the world that you've joined me. For the person that joined from Port Harcourt, from the person that joined from, I think, what's the name? K, there's a K something that I heard that time. For the person that joined from Lagos, for the person that joined from, why is Katsina or Kogi into my head? From wherever it is that you have joined, thank you very much. Again, I am Dayo Samuel, and just as I've shared with you in this webinar so far, you can create change once you understand and identify exactly the things you need to focus on in order to create change. I would personally like to coach you and work with you, whether you need therapy, whether you need coaching, I am willing to work with you over the next few days via Lasting Transformation. So come enroll in Lasting Transformation. Let us take this further. Let's make this deeper. Let's systemize everything that you've learned today into what you can use as a structure for creating the change you're looking for in your life. I am Dayo Samuel. Once again, I'm glad that you are part of this webinar. I'm going to see you anytime we see again. More abundantly, I'm going to see you in Lasting Transformation. Go ahead to dayosamuel.com/24 to be a part of Lasting Transformation for just 10,000 naira. And if that is unavailable, then you can use dayosamuel.com/48. And by that will be maybe by 10 p.m. tomorrow, that expires. So that will only be available for the next 48 hours as well. Thank you very, very much. I say, have yourself a great time. And the way I'm saluting is I'm saluting you because I know that with what you have just acquired from this session today, I believe in you. I believe you can make great changes happen in your life. And I believe you have all the resources you need to make change happen in your life. If you believe that with me, join me in Lasting Transformation and let's take this let's turn it into structure and systems that you can use for the change you need. Have yourself a great time. Enjoy yourself. And if you have questions, you can post in the comments, or you can send me an email, or you can ask questions. Maybe if you have my contact, you can ask me questions. I'll be glad to be of assistance to you. Thank you very much, everyone. Tolulokwe says thank you for the eye-opening session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm going to see you next time.